with the playing of that familiar theme song that we hear once a week, it's time to go out to the other coast of the United States, to the West Coast, to Hollywood, California, where the movies are made and Michael Snyder reviews them. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and greetings, listeners. Got some interesting movies for you this week, and I'd like to review them, so let's roll. Brad Pitt stars in Ad Astra, which is a sci-fi movie about astronaut Roy McBride, who in the near future journeys to the moon, then Mars, and then all the way to Neptune to uncover the truth about his missing father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, and about the doomed expedition Dad led that's causing havoc in the solar system. I'm not an astrophysicist. I can't really weigh in on the accuracy of the science, but Ad Astra is a damn good science fiction movie that suggests plausibility, even if it might not be as on the mark with hard science as maybe the more fanciful futuristic TV show The Expanse. All I know is that Ad Astra is exciting, philosophical, and emotionally resonant. It's directed and co-written by James Gray, but it's his first science fiction movie. Most of his previous films have been these wonderful dark examinations of working class life in New York City's boroughs. If you've seen The Immigrant or Two Lovers or The Yards or Little Odessa, you know his work. Very cool. And he also did the historical docudrama Lost City of Z, which was about exotic exploration in the Amazon. Well, outer space is kind of adventurous as well. It's as adventurous a place for exploration as you could find, and Gray does a damn good job of capturing and holding attention as McBride goes on his quest through the silence of space. And he has to deal with the fate of the world and daddy issues, so that's pretty heavy. Ad Astra features Ruth Negga, Liv Tyler, and Donald Sutherland in supporting roles, but it's really Brad Pitt's show, and he follows his superb work in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a more subdued, less flashy performance that's nonetheless the beating heart of the movie, and this is worth seeing on the big screen. Okay. Not since Serenity brought the TV series Firefly to a close, as a beloved TV program had the occasion to end its television run with a feature film until now. Maybe there's another one, I can't think of it, but Downton Abbey wraps up the addictive period drama of the same name from Britain's ITV network with a lush, thoroughly satisfying feature-length motion picture, bringing back most of the original actors from the show in their well-known roles while adding a few choice characters to spice up this resolution. Yeah, it's more of the soap operatic lifestyles of the rich and aristocratic in the Sylvan English countryside of the early 20th century, and it is in most ways like a gigantic bonus episode, a sweet 1926 coda to the original series that was first set in 1912. But as a viewer and a fan invested in these characters for years, I was thrilled to spend a little more time with them. Yeah, it's piffle, it's pish, it's tosh, and screw the wealthy and their excesses, but damned if I didn't find myself rooting for their poncy aristocratic asses as Lord and Lady Crawley of Downton Abbey, their enormous country estate, are basically mandated to play host to the king and queen who are on a trip through Yorkshire. So the creator-writer Julian Fellows, the guy who also wrote the award-winning movie Gosford Park, and of all things the hit Broadway and West End show School of Rock, knows this rich milieu like the back of his kid-gloved hand. Plus you get the usual high-end British actors led by Hugh Bonneville as Lord Robert Crawley, Maggie Smith, hilarious as the Dowager Empress, the Dowager Countess Violet, Michelle Dockery's here as Lady Mary, Alan Leach, Penelope Wilton, etc. All the rest, including a token American, Elizabeth McGovern, back as Lady Crawley. And then there's the addition of Imelda Staunton and the delightful and delightfully named Tuppence Middleton, who really should marry Benedict Cumberbatch, so she becomes Tuppence Middleton Cumberbatch. Anyway, Downton was a jolly good show, and this trifle is like this sumptuous dessert for the fans, and I don't know that fans would even enjoy this, but it would have worked perfectly fine as a double-length farewell episode on TV like the Christmas special a few years ago. Feel free to wait and stream it, especially if you're a fan. Okie dokie. Loro is a mix of biography and drama about the rise, corruption, and personal excesses of the scandalous, now disgraced Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. It's also one of my favorite movies of the year. Not a Hollywood production, of course, but comes from a director I consider one of the best in the world today, Paolo Sorrentino. His 2013 movie, The Great Beauty, which won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film, is a glorious look at modern-day Roman society, and it's on my best of all time list, honestly. I think of Sorrentino, who also created and directed the HBO series The Young Pope, as the true heir to Fellini, who owes a debt to the master's visual flair and wit. With Loro, Sorrentino takes on Berlusconi, as played by the great character actor Tony Servillo. Berlusconi came to prominence as an Italian media tycoon and entered politics, evidently to advance his own profligate lifestyle. The parallels with the avaricious, self-serving scum now in the Oval Office were not lost on me, and they make Loro a topical and even more provocative movie. As with Sorrentino's earlier films, Loro looks spectacular on the big screen, so consider the local art house as a destination if this is playing near you and it sounds like your type of movie. We'll wrap up with a documentary entitled Where's My Roy Cohn? Hey, speaking of scumbags, this guy was one of Trumpty Dumpty's primary mentors. The late Roy Cohn was a ruthless, amoral lawyer, fixer, and political manipulator who got his ignominious start as a smirking hate monger who assisted the vile Republican Senator Joe McCarthy during the repressive communist witch hunts in the 50s. And Cohn also became an advisor to Trump when the current prevaricator-in-chief was starting out as a shady real estate guy. Toss in the fact that Cohn was a closeted homosexual, presumably self-loathing, and his story becomes even more disturbing. If you don't know who Roy Cohn was, nor understand his impact on the lunacy that's currently overtaking D.C., you're advised to check this out. Unlike, say, Ad Astra, it'll have as much impact on video, so keep home viewing in mind. What are you watching, pal?
Nobody knows Roy Cohn better than I do, because I have looked him straight in the face. So, you know, I know how evil the man was, and I had a long discussion with him, and he was an evil man, you know.
But anyway. How you actually met the guy?
Oh, yeah. I debated him on radio. To this day, it's one of the creepiest moments of my life. Anyway, all I have to suggest is, Ken Burns, once again, kicks it out of the ballpark, or hits it out of the ballpark, with country music. Great series, just terrific.
PBS. It's all the roots and the history, and it's talking heads, it's music. Fantastic.
It covers every inch of it, practically. There's always something he leaves out in most of his documentaries, but in this case, he pretty well hits it out of the park. It's a very, very scholarly-like job. Anyway, tell them where they can find you, Michael.
Twitter at Culture Blaster, Facebook, Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page, and happily here at GABNet.
Okay, and there's more GABNet coming right up. If you're listening to us 24/7, you can also find Michael in our on-demand section at GABNet.net. And we'll see you next week, Michael. Bye-bye. And there's more GABNet coming right up. Actually, I played the wrong theme, but what the heck.